Hi, I'm Ben Ferguson, and welcome to your AMAC Weekly News. First up this week, the Biden administration has blocked private actors from saving Americans trapped in Afghanistan. The question is, why would they do this? We'll have that shocking answer for you in just a moment. Up next, Dr. Fauci is now under serious criticism after documents reveal that the NIH actually did fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan. So why did he tell America the opposite of that actually happened? And finally, AMAC CEO Rebecca Weber is here with a special message for AMAC members on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. But first, a quick reminder, make sure you hit the share button right now so that your family and friends can see this program. Your AMAC Weekly News starts right now. By Joe Biden's own admission, a shocking admission, he said, yeah, we left 10% of Americans in Afghanistan after our withdrawal. He also admitted that he lied to you by claiming just days earlier that we would not leave until we got every American out. Now, this withdrawal from Afghanistan has resulted not only in the deaths of the 13 American Marines and many more that were injured in that suicide bomb at the airport, but this withdrawal from Afghanistan also has had many people left behind, people that are desperate to get out. Now, the airport was the first place that we told everyone to go, and they lied over and over again by telling Americans, just get to the airport and we'll get you out. We know we've left people behind. So now, incredible people, private citizens, Americans, and organizations have teamed up with those that used to serve this country to try to get Americans out. One group that was founded by Glenn Beck, they've attempted to rescue individuals from Afghanistan and have actually been stopped. We're now being told by the Biden administration. You heard me correctly. The U.S. State Department under Joe Biden is responsible for interfering with the departure of several airplanes holding American citizens and Afghan nationals attempting to escape Afghanistan. It wasn't the Taliban that stopped them. It was the Biden administration. And what makes it worse is the Biden administration actually lied, claiming it was the Taliban that was stopping the planes from leaving. We now know from internal documents that is not true. Now, how do they stop them from leaving Afghanistan is a question that everyone is asking. Well, the State Department refused to grant landing clearance to the planes, which prevented them from obviously being able to depart. That's right, Joe Biden left these people behind, and now he won't let anyone else in to actually try to save them. Now, at the same time, the State Department is claiming full credit for the rescues completed by veterans and other Americans who came together to help people leave Afghanistan. Representative Mark Wayne Mullen went into full detail about he and others tried over and over and over again to get individuals out of the country, and the State Department stopped him every time.
Actually, on the 28th, 29th, and the 30th, we were at gates. I was on the phone with the operations center trying to get Miriam and her kids out of Kabul. And so when the administration says that every American that wanted out could get out, that's an absolute lie, because we're working with 27 AMSETs, American citizens, right now that I assure you all of them wanted out, and we couldn't get them out.
Now, what's so sick and pathetic about the interview is the fact that Breonna Keeler at CNN, the anchor that you just witnessed, actually wanted to challenge Mullen by questioning his credibility for trying to save American lives. Because if this guy's right and he's doing this amazing work, it makes the Biden administration look bad. I want you to watch this one example that we pulled of their back and forth and ask yourself this question. Whose side is CNN really on? Are they on the side of Americans left behind? Or are they willing to do whatever it takes to slander anyone trying to help get Americans out to protect Joe Biden?
So I just want to get to the bottom of what you're taking issue with, because the State Department said the U.S. has facilitated the safe departure of 4 U.S. citizens by overland route from Afghanistan. Embassy staff was present upon arrival. So just to be clear, are you saying that they actually did not facilitate the overland departure of these 4? Or are you saying that embassy staff were not present at the exit?
They got present on the second day. We traveled over 300 miles with Miriam, not we personally, not me. I was actually in the United States, over 300 miles from Kabul up through this region. I'm going to leave where we actually brought her across out of it, because we hopefully will get more people through. But we had her there for 24 hours before the State Department was even aware she was there. They didn't show up until a few hours after before we got her across. And so for them to say they facilitated it is absolutely a lie. We had to go through over 20 checkpoints, which each one of those checkpoints you actually have to pay money to get through because of the Taliban. On the day that she was actually able to come across, she was actually told, because I was on the phone with her at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time in the morning, and they said, if you come back, we'll kill you. And so we were negotiating. We were negotiating back and forth. The State Department was actually told at one time, told the embassy in the country not to assist us in any way. Quote, that came from the ambassador, said Washington, D.C., Mark Wayne said, Representative Mullen, what he called me, said, I'm not to assist you in any way.
The fact is, the State Department actually attempted to hinder this operation. Then, when Mullen's group completed the mission, the State Department wanted to make sure they are the ones that took credit for the success. I love the fact that we live in a country where American men and women, people that have already retired from military service, are willing to go back and help others, risk their lives by doing what the Biden administration won't do. And the Biden administration trying to take credit for saving American lives when they actually try to stop those people from getting out of the country is disgusting. Look, we need to bring all Americans home, not 90% of them. And we need to do it. And the State Department, the Biden administration need to get out of the way if others are willing to do the work that they won't do. Whether Biden likes or not, every American life matters, not just 90% of American lives. And they need to do more to help these Americans who are caught behind enemy lines. In the last 7 months, there's one thing in Washington that seems to be true every time that it's tested. The Biden administration fails completely on every single challenge that it attempts to tackle. One of these challenges is messaging on the issue of COVID. And a primary issue with this is the continued reliance on Dr. Anthony Fauci as the face of the anti-freedom movement. Back in May, Fauci made this statement about what is called gain-of-function research while being questioned by Senator Rand Paul in a congressional hearing.
Will you, in front of this group, categorically say that the COVID-19 could not have occurred through serial passage in a laboratory?
I do not have any accounting of what the Chinese may have done, and I'm fully in favor of any further investigation of what went on in China. However, I will repeat again, the NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
You do support it in the U.S. We have 11 labs doing it, and you have allowed it here. We have a committee to do it, but the committee has granted every exemption. You're fooling with Mother Nature here. You're allowing superviruses to be created with a 15% mortality. It's very dangerous. I think it was a huge mistake to share this with China.
That's right. Dr. Fauci was challenged by another doctor and a member of Congress and lied. And we now know that he lied. Fauci said the NIH hasn't funded any gain-of-function research in Wuhan. So, of course, when he said it, it must be true, right? No need to do any research. No reason for the media to actually do some digging. Well, all of this sounded great until documents obtained by The Intercept were released showing more than 900 pages of material that detail the gain-of-function research produced by the Wuhan lab and funded by the NIH. Now, gain-of-function research is the manipulation of viruses to make them more transmittable and more deadly, which is exactly what happened with COVID-19. The documents released from the NIH show that the Wuhan laboratory spiked the genes of one coronavirus with other coronaviruses, which created a new, more potent virus that could easily infect humans on purpose. According to the documents, the NIH grant to the group called EcoHealth Alliance was intended to fund, quote, virus infection experiments across a range of cell cultures from different species and humanized mice. Now, Senator Rand Paul was brilliant months ago when he reminded Fauci he was under oath and reminded him of the penalty if you lie to Congress. Well, Senator Paul has already begun his call for repercussions, accountability for Fauci's lies with this tweet. I have already asked the DOJ to review Fauci's testimony for lying to Congress. This report should make it abundantly clear that he needs to be held accountable. Now, Senator Paul isn't the only one. Representative Ronnie Jackson tweeted this out. Fauci's NIH-funded dangerous gain-of-function research in the Wuhan laboratory. The same man that wants to mask your kids and keep us locked down forever helped cause this pandemic. How does he still have a job? ? Fauci needs to be fired and investigated immediately. Now, to make all of this even more insane, the grant received by EcoHealth Alliance was actually titled, quote, Understanding the Risk of Bat Coronavirus Emergence. One of the key details reveals that the $3.1 million bat coronavirus grant given to EcoHealth Alliance included, quote, $599,000 that the Wuhan Institute of Virology used in part to identify and alter bat coronaviruses likely to infect humans. The more that comes forward, the worse Fauci looks. We know now he lied to Congress and the American people as well, and he clearly needs to be held accountable for these lies. But even more than that, how is it that the Biden White House continues to allow Dr. Fauci to be the guy out there with all the messaging on getting vaccines or wearing masks? If the country cannot believe this man, why is the Biden administration continuing to allow him to have this platform to spread more misinformation? There has been so much talk in the media about Afghanistan over the last several weeks that many have forgotten about this moment that's happening on Saturday, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. It is amazing to me that it's been 20 years since that attack on our country. Almost everyone I know remembers exactly where they were when they got the news of the Twin Towers being hit, and then the Pentagon, and then that plane falling from the sky in Pennsylvania. We decided this week that it was important to have AMAC's Chief Executive Officer, Rebecca Weber, here with a special message from AMAC on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
As we come to the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we pause. We are asked, and we ask ourselves to stop, to think, and to remember, and never forget what happened to America that day, to all of us, and how those events hurt. But then to remember also how we responded, that we rose as one nation under God, indivisible, and committed ourselves as never before to preserving liberty for all. You know, Lady Liberty, she watched as we were attacked, and then watched as we rocked the world, became unified, as we seldom do in our history. But we grew tall in courage, reaffirmed our commitment to each other, to the future, and to freedom. We wept, but then we kept the faith with our past. All of the sacrifices made, the honor shown, and ideals that make us who we are. Men and women are imperfect. America is too. But no nation on the face of this planet, no nation that has ever graced this planet, cares more, works harder, or rises stronger than we do. On this 20th anniversary of 9/11, we solemnly remember those who we lost. But we must also remember that their loss created in this nation a new resolve, that this nation, we the people, are one nation under God, and unity forged in that moment produced a conviction that love, courage, faith, and resilience will always triumph over evil. We did then, we can now. We owe it to those we lost never to give up on that fight. AMAC will never give up that fight. God bless this good and great nation always. God bless you.
That's it for this edition of your AMAC Weekly News. Please make sure you say a prayer and remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country, fighting the terrorists that attacked us on 9/11. Pray for the families that are going to be mourning the loss of a loved one from 20 years ago on this anniversary. Make sure that you tell anyone that wears the uniform, thank you for their service to this country. I'm Ben Ferguson, and I'll see you back next week for our next episode.